Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Politics NY Meet Your Candidates in 2022. I'm Jane Hansen, and I ask three questions in 3 minutes. And today our guest is Peter Ganley, who is running for Assembly District 1 in the state of New York. And that basically is the east end of Long Island, way east, with the exception of the town of Riverhead. And it's been long time represented by a Democrat who's been there for many years, and now you as a Republican, Peter, hope to take his place. Why are you running?
So I'm running for New York State Assembly to make a positive impact on my community. I'm running to lower taxes and spending in the state of New York. I am running to improve public safety and repeal cashless bail. And I'm running to preserve our environment by fully funding the Peconic Estuary Partnership. Another priority of mine is to implement term limits. I'm running against an opponent that's been in office longer than I've been alive. And I think the longer that somebody's been in office, the easier it is to vote party line, not really take into consideration what your constituents' needs are back home. And I think it's time for some new energy in New York.
New energy in New York. So if you ultimately did go up to Albany, what's the first issue you would take on? One of everything you mentioned, some of that's going to be a little hard to do initially. What are you going to do?
So the number one issue on most voters' minds on the east end of Long Island, other than traffic, which absolutely we need to tackle, is the crime issue. And
Mhm.
it's less that people are concerned about a massive violent crime wave in somewhere like Southampton Village or somewhere like South Old Town. They're worried because their kids go to school in New York City, their family members are there, and they see, these laws on the books where we've taken away the power from judges to judge situations. Context matters. We've taken away judicial discretion, and we've let career politicians in Albany let violent criminals walk free.
What about the issue of women's reproductive rights?
So I'd consider myself pro-life. The only significant changes, though, I would make in New York would be parental notification for a child under the age of 18, as well as I would limit third trimester abortions to in the cases of rape, incest, or life of the mother. Otherwise, I would not push to that. I believe abortion is healthcare, and it should be determined by the states.
Let's have a final question here, taking it to a different level. Tell me something about yourself. You're obviously a young man running for office. What don't we know about you that we should? What would be a fun fact?
So before I worked for Congressman Lee Zeldin for several years in his office doing constituent casework. I've had probably every odd job you can imagine on the east end of Long Island. I've washed dishes, I've parked cars as a valet, I've carried golf bags. So I have a very unique understanding of what it's like to work in the service industry on the East End and how important it is for our people who live in the industry to be able to live on the East End of Long Island. It's becoming very hard. It's becoming very unaffordable. I'm a big believer in affordable housing and making sure that people who keep our economy moving, the people who keep the East End going, the people who work in the service industry are able to actually live there.
All right. Well, get back on that campaign trail. Thank you,
All
Peter.
right. Thank
Good
you for
luck to
having me.
you. And thanks everybody for watching. I'm Jane Hansen. I'll see you next time.